Hello everyone, welcome back to Videography. I'm your host Arun Prakash, and today we are going to deep dive into the world of log and raw footages and why these are far superior to the traditional video settings we are so used to. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about the log footages. Log, short for logarithmic. It is a type of video recording that captures a wider dynamic range by compressing the highlights and shadows. This means that instead of capturing an image with high contrast and saturation, log footages appears flat and desaturated straight out of the camera. But don't let that fool you. This flat image actually retains a lot more details, especially in the highlights and shadows, which can be incredibly beneficial during post-production. When you shoot in log, you are essentially giving yourself more flexibility to push and pull the colors and exposure to achieve the desired look. To put it simply, log footage is like a blank canvas. It allows you to paint your picture in post-production with greater precision and creativity, something that's harder to achieve with standard video settings. For example, let's say you have two cameras, one shooting in a standard picture profile and one in log. This standard picture profile will have high contrast and saturated colors right out of the camera, but it will clip your highlights and crush the shadows, losing valuable details. The log footage, on the other hand, retains all these details and gives you much more flexibility in post-production. Now, let's talk about the raw footages. RAW is the king of video formats. It is the uncompressed data captured directly from the camera's sensor. Think of it as the digital negative, preserving all the information that the sensor captures without any in-camera processing. This means you get the maximum flexibility in post-production. You can adjust not only the colors and exposure but also the white balance, sharpness and many other parameters without degrading the image quality. Raw footage provides you with ultimate control over your video, making it invaluable for professional filmmakers who demand the highest quality. But there's a catch. Raw files are huge and require significant storage space and processing power. However, the trade-off is worth it for the unparalleled quality and control. Imagine you are shooting a scene with a lot of dynamic range, bright skies, deep shadows and a lot of colors. With RAW, you can pull details from both the highlights and shadows without the image falling apart. In contrast, a compressed format might lose all these details permanently. So why should you consider log or RAW over traditional video settings? Let's break it down. The dynamic range. Both log and RAW captures a wider dynamic range compared to the standard setting. This means more detail in both the brightest and the darkest part of your image, making your video look more cinematic and professional. Post-production flexibility. With log and RAW, you have much more room to maneuver in post-production. You can make significant adjustment to your exposure, color balance and more without compromising the image quality. This is especially useful if you need to match the shots from different cameras or lighting conditions. Color grading. These formats are ideal for color grading. Since log footage is flat, it's easier to apply color grades and achieve a consistent look across your projects. Raw footages, on the other hand, gives you even more control, allowing for precise color correction and creative looks. Future-proofing. Shooting in log or RAW can future-proof your content. As display technology advances, having footages with the higher dynamic range and more color information ensures your video looks great on future devices. However, it's important to note that these advantages come with certain challenges, such as the need for more storage, processing power, and a good understanding of color grading and post-production techniques. But if you are serious about videography, the benefit far outweighs the challenges. That's all for today's episode of Videography. I hope this deep dive into the log and raw footages has given you the better understanding of their advantages and why they might be worth considering for your next project. If you have any questions or want to share your experience with log and raw, drop a comment and like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, keep creating, keep entertaining and keep experimenting. Until next time, I'm Arun Prakash signing off. Thank you.